So I walked in, I asked for fish and chips twice, and he said, I heard you at first time, mate. Oh, hello, and welcome to Not Another Leeds podcast. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Sorry. We'll start again. Right, welcome to Not Another Leeds podcast. Some weird stuff going on in the background. Kev and James will be here shortly, but I'm here with the magic therapist himself, Paul. How are we, Paul?
I'm very good. I'm tired after a long week, but other than that, I'm fine. Oh, look, James decided to turn up.
Yeah, all them letters, mate. He can't get through the door because of all them letters he's got.
That's it. No, I'm good, thank you. We've just seen the lineups for the game, haven't we, for tonight? So interested. No Perot, no party. Let's see how he does tonight. But
yeah,
interesting. I'm nervous, but we'll see how it goes.
Big decision that I think is good. We'll talk about it shortly. But James, how are you, mate? You okay?
I'm great, mate, as usual. Looking forward to the game. Watching us dick Sunderland will be nice. So yeah, I'm happy, mate. I'm happy. Can you hear me? Seems like you can't hear me.
Yeah. It's very sensitive, mic, but we're all sensitive, aren't we? We're all sensitive on the inside. Before we do crack on, because my headphones ruined that intro, let's go on to the sponsor. We do have a sponsor this week. Do you know what we haven't played in a while, James? We haven't had.
Sorry.
Yes, but we haven't had a good game of Bogle, have we? We haven't had a good game of Bogle. Now, what you do is you have to obviously throw the letters about, see what you can make, and you've got to get it before a Burnley player scores against you. So that is this week's sponsor. So have a good game of Bogle when it's out in near Christmas. Right, let's get into the Coventry game right quickly then, because it is a shorter episode tonight because we are playing Sunderland at 8 o'clock. Paul, your thoughts over the Coventry game, mate?
Professional performance. We did really, really well. We started to step into gear a little bit. I think each game we've been getting a little bit better and a little bit better. And the result with that win was just what the doctor ordered. But I do think it's interesting to note that the next game that Coventry then play after that, they then go and beat somebody 3-0 as well. So it's very championshipy at the moment. Nobody's running away with it. But yeah, I'm happy with how we're looking so far. And yeah, like I say, pleased with the game. The goals were good. The finishes were good. The overall performances of the team were good. There's nothing really that you can complain about.
Yeah, it did come at a price, which we'll touch on in a moment. But James, it was a big win for you. Not only the score, but it was a derby for you.
Yeah, I mean, against Coventry, it's always an interesting game for us, for me in particular. And I mentioned that most of our games against Coventry have been fairly tight affairs throughout the years, even back in the Premiership days. But it was completely against the grain this game because we dominated them from start to finish. I mean, I didn't think they were any good first half. I thought I was a bit surprised by how they shaped up. Second half, they come out a bit more, but the game was already won and we could sort of sit back and just relax a little bit, apart from fucking Ampadu, obviously, who decided he wanted to break everybody and ended up breaking himself. But other than that, yeah, it was a really, really nice, comfortable game against a decent team that just was shit, really, to be fair.
Yeah, standard, yeah. This is the momentum graph, and you can see there that we had a really good first half, and then we sort of let them back into it. Paul, I mean, the second half was a bit grubby, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it was, but then at the same time, it was very much a case of we just gave them the ball and said, "Look, try and break us down," and it was a case of they couldn't do anything. That we were just overall streets head in terms of being the better squad. You know, James touched on it. Obviously the injury to Ampadu, but it was nice to see Tanaka come in, and Tanaka looked really, really good when he came in. It looked like he'd been playing for us for absolutely ages, and we're going to need that moving forwards, obviously. But yeah, it's almost like you took the foot off the pedal a little bit in the second half, but then obviously we get the 2 goals. Bogle puts one in, and then obviously Piroe doing what Piroe does, just comes on and scores a goal. Because I've said it before, it's funny, he gets that ball, and at no stage do I think he's not going to score that. He's just, I've literally got ultimate confidence of him in front of goal at the moment. So yeah, second half might not have been brilliant, but what we did was we strangled the game and then scored when we needed to, really, to be fair.
Yeah. I remember tweeting, great half, but we really need to put teams to the sword. And James, in the second half, we actually did. I think we got, was it the 47th minute, I believe?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. I know. Let me just double check. Oh, no, not that one. This one. Yes, it was round about that. Stats for you there. There you go. We're that kind of podcast now. Yeah, so we put a second goal just knocks the wind out of them, doesn't it?
It does, and also as well, what we are good at as well is hitting teams on the transition. So if we're giving teams the ball, teams know that about us as well. So you could see when they had the ball for a lot of that half, they were scared to sort of go for it a bit because they know what we're like on the transition. So they had a lot of it, but it was just they were knocking it around the back. They weren't really penetrating us at all, and we were all right with doing that. We're like, "Sound, you can just do that, and we'll save ourselves for bloody Norwich and Sunderland in the coming week." And then right at the end, we just like put Piroe on as Paul said, just to kill the game off. And because other than that goal, he was fucking garbage. By the way, I don't think he did anything right. And then he scored the goal. Good finish, by the way. Yeah.
It was.
I'm a bit surprised. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say the Piroe goal. I thought their keeper in particular was very poor. I thought he was absolute skip on fire performance from him. If you look at the Nanto goal, right, which was a great strike from inside of the foot, some venom on it. It was a great strike, but he pushed it into the roof of his net. I think if that was any other keeper, he does get a strong hand to it. Whether it goes in or not, I don't know. I have not run the experiments on my supercomputer. Now it's in the bin. But it's a great strike, a great goal. But then if you look at Piroe's goal, he just sort of flops to the floor and just lets that in. And then if you look at Bogle's goal, it's the exact same.
It's going the other way though, wasn't it? The Piroe goal is a little bit different because he's going the other way, isn't he? He's sort of falling the other way, and he does touch it. He probably could have saved it, but his momentum's sort of going. It's a good finish from Piroe. Like I said, he's good at doing that, and he notices the keeper sort of going to one side, and he just sort of plays it into that area where it's harder for him to get to, and he does get a hand to it. But the first and second goal, and the second goal especially, he should have saved that one. First goal, bit of power. The Piroe one is just slightly off, but yeah, it was a bit shit, wasn't he?
A bit. Yeah, have you seen that meme of them gloves with a football-shaped hole in it? I think he had them. Because I saw Coventry players arguing with each other. I saw their fans booing. You know what I mean? But they won at the weekend convincingly, and I think they've turned that corner, which you told us about, didn't you? And I think they'll get momentum because they did start slow last season. But it was good to get the good. I think that was a big win for us, a massive win for us. But yeah, so all in all, it was a good, solid performance at home, winning 3-0, and some good performances in there as well. Aronson seems to be earning back the respect from the fans. Do you agree, Paul?
Yeah, no, hugely. He just gets on it. He's just on it and he's ratting around and making a nuisance of himself. And it is really funny because people still compare him to Rutter. You can't compare the two together in terms of they're different players. Rutter being very much a flair player, whilst Aronson is very much more of a let's bring other people into the game style of player. Like for the first goal, it was his spin and touch pass through that then set up for it to be put over to Firpo, for Firpo then to put it in for Nonto's finish. I've been really impressed with Aronson so far this season, and long may it continue. He definitely looks a hell of a lot stronger. Really, really seems to have been on the weights a little bit, so which is really, really good to see. It's just he's got to keep it up. I'd like him to get a couple more goals, maybe, but no, I'm impressed with his redemption arc so far.
Yeah, James, do you agree? Before we move on to Norwich.
Yeah, I like him. I like Aronson. I like his work rate. I like that he chases everything down, and he's actually quite a good footballer as well. Like his balls some of the balls he's been playing have been really, really good, and they've created some good chances for us. So if he keeps that up, he could probably find this league a little bit easier than another league. So just keep up, yeah. Happy with him.
Reminds me, when he gets the ball, it reminds me of a ferret with a ball, just like in those little channels. And I think he sorts out his passing, because there were an instance where I think it was Aronson, where he could have just slid it through to Nonto, but instead he went across the goal. I think it was against Norwich actually. But if he starts seeing them passes, then we should be all right. Obviously, the win did come at a price with our captain Ampadu. We're going to talk about Ampadu and Gruev after halfway through and as a collective there. So yeah, let's move on to Norwich. A good point. Ada took a point before the game. They've obviously, their fans weren't happy about it. They've actually changed the badge. Here is the badge. They're furious about it. I mean, I couldn't understand why. But Paul, I missed the first half, but from what I have heard, that first half it was grueling, as long as the game as well. What's your thoughts on that, mate?
It was a proper championship game. It was grizzled championship bastards going about the work. It was very much a referee that wanted to make himself the main star of the show. He still runs like he's shit his pants, like a baby. Have you ever seen like a child, when a child needs a shit and it's running to the toilet and it does that really weird thing where its upper body just stays stiff and then its lower body then moves its legs really, really quick? That's kind of what that ref was like. I can't stand him. I cannot stand him at all. But no, it was. They're probably the best team we've played against so far this season. And I know they're in 10th, but that kind of belittles what they can do or what they're capable of doing as a team. I think that overall, in terms of defensive performance, was absolutely fine. Bar the penalty that they gave away, I don't think Meslier had anything to do. It was one of those nights where we just, from an attacking point of view, it just wasn't gelling right for us. Obviously, there's other things that come into that with Gruev and everything as well, but we just weren't fluid enough, I think is probably the right word for it. So yeah, overall, it's a good point. It's a good point away from home. We've had, less than 72 hours to get ourselves back into the throw of things for the game. And, you could tell that some of the lads were tired after the end of that. And then, obviously, they're playing again in less than 72 hours as well on a Friday. So it's ridiculous that we have to play 3 games of football in that space of time. It's just dumb. But
it's mad. Yeah. Absolutely mad. 3 games in 6 days, I believe it is. It's absolutely crazy. James, what was your assessment of the Norwich game, buddy?
I thought first half was a bit endy to endy. I thought they tried to go at us a bit. Didn't really succeed much. Thought we handled them pretty well. I think we had better chances. I thought second half we dominated them up until the subs. Thought there's only one team going to win the game. I thought we had them pegged in. They looked out of ideas. They looked knackered. They were just lumping it forward. And then they looked over and seen Bamford and Perone, thought, thank fuck for that. And then it gave them a bit of impetus to try and go at the last 10 minutes. But yeah, I thought it was a game. We had the better chances. Again, it's being clinical again, isn't it? One of our biggest problems is putting away the chances that we create, even if it's 1 or 2 or a few. We're just really shit at doing that. So clinical is what let us down on Tuesday. I thought we were with a better team. Should have beat them.
Yep, it goes with the momentum graph again. That it's a common theme here. We seem to be dominating a lot of these games, but we can't seem to just put them to the sword. I think this flatters us a little bit from what I saw, because they had quite a few attacking momentum. There's a few times. We'll go to the penalty, Paul. Definite penalty, clumsy challenge, or
he needs to stay on his feet.
I don't know why he went down the ground there.
Yeah,
it reminds me of. Sorry. Do you remember when Rafinha did it? Was it against Everton or Chelsea? It reminded me of that, where there was just no need.
Yeah,
he's going nowhere.
Yeah, Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yeah,
and we were winning at that point, I think, or we were at least going to nick a draw or something. But I just why go to the ground? What's the play? We've seen this change in Rodon, I think, personally. He seems to be just quite rash sometimes. Yeah, he's got to kiss the shits and not the runny kind from your bum. Am I just overreacting there, Paul? Or
he's not been brilliant at the start of the season. He started to get a little bit better as the games have gone on, and because he couldn't pass to anybody as the game was going on, every ball he was putting to people was just going out. But yeah, he needs to stand on his feet for that. I know what he's trying to do. He thinks probably that I think there's two things. Yeah, it's two things going on. He's trying to block a shot, and he doesn't quite understand his positioning in where his positioning is. I think he thinks he's further backwards in the 18-yard box than what he actually is. So, yeah, it's what he just needs to knock that out of his game.
Yeah, I mean, it did look like. Is it clever play from Sergeant James where he stuck his leg out and he's gone down? He's obviously it's part of the game now. We have to accept that where players play for the penalty or play for they try and conning the refs part of the game, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Look, he's slid in, looking to block the shot. That's clearly what he's trying to do. He's not trying to tackle. He's trying to block a shot. Sergeant's plan there is, I'm gonna fucking just stop the ball, because if there's a chance that he slides in, I'm gonna leave my leg in. Like, it's probably a bit clever play. Stupid from Rodon, a little bit of a clever play from Sargent. The shittest penalty he's ever taken in his life, by the way.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that, because I saw a comment here from Zane. Melier was on 500 ping for that pen. Now, I've seen people defend him where his momentum's going one way.
Yep.
And it's hard for him. Surely he could have stuck a leg out there, Kev. Welcome, by the way, Kevin. Welcome back. How was the moon? Mike's not on, mate.
He's still got that moon gravity around his head.
Yeah. It's all right. He'll come back. What about Paul? Do you agree with saying there? He should have. Well, I think he should have at least got a leg out.
He should have potentially gotten a leg to it, but then again, what you have to say is it's very difficult when, from a penalty point of view, if you're even slightly twitching one way, it's really hard to readjust yourself. But then what you have to look at it in terms of what he does. He then after that makes an absolutely stunning save from a Rothwell from a Rodon shot that is going in at the inside post. He's there to make. Yeah. He's there to make the save, so he kind of redeems himself a little bit. But yeah, all he needed to do literally was kick up his leg and he saves it. But again, just that little twitch to the right, and it just causes all sorts of problems.
Yeah. So, Kev?
Hear me now?
Oh, very low. Is it your mic?
Sake, yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
There you are.
Yeah, it wasn't even plugged in. Now I look like I'm all over I'm just not having a good day. Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hello, welcome back. How was the moon? It's all right. I started off shit anyway, so.
Oh God, I don't even know where I am. Yeah, moon sound. Cheese at it. Big cheese.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the Norwich game, mate? We're just talking about the Norwich game.
First half, all right, just back and forth. Second half, I think we battered them, but just nothing came to fruition. That's my thing on it. Just really worried about the centre of the park now. Sound, moon, cheese. That's all you need. Yeah.
Man, a few words is Kev, but he means it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know, in a nutshell, that's what it was, isn't it? It's hard to put my finger on it. Like, again, it comes at a cost. A good point in the end, I believe. Even the most negative fans were saying, yeah, it's a good point. It came at a cost with Gruev, which we found out. We'll talk about after the next segment anyway. So, all in all, a good point, James.
It has to be, isn't it? It's a game that we would have lost last season, just purely on the basis of how that game sort of flowed. But I think we realise a little bit now that we're actually a fucking good team, and the goal didn't disparage us in any shape or form. We sort of grew from their goal, and we sort of took over a little bit. So I like that about us now. I like that we're not crumbling at these little moments where, you know, we concede away from home like Stoke last year and stuff. So yeah, it is a good point. Yeah. It is a good point on that basis.
A special question to you, Kev.
Yep.
How do you feel about the pedestrian of Norwich City Centre? I'll be honest, I'm dead against it. People forget that traders need access to Dixon's.
I'm dead against it as well, Charlie. Yeah.
Right.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Nice one. Let's talk to me, Paul, about Ramazani, mate. It was a great, well taken goal, and I think he's going to be one of the better players for us this season.
Yeah, massively. He's very much a live wire, and I think we've still not seen. Thanks, bye. We've still not seen him peak yet. But again, we've not seen him team peak properly yet either. I don't think the entire team's gotten out of second gear properly yet. But Ramazani looks good. He looks like he's got a trick up his sleeve. He's fast. He's pacey. He's strong in the tackle as well. And it's difficult.
Holding up the ball. Holding up the ball.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. He did it against Coventry with that long ball that came across that he just got on his, controlled it, and then dropped it down. It's brilliant. But yeah, I like him. I think he's only going to get better. And he seems to be forming a really, really nice, friendly partnership with Nonto as well. They seem to be really, really good friends.
And the same height as well, so they can stand on each other's shoulders.
That's true.
Put a massive trench coat on, and they might be able to get into Batley Frontier when it reopens.
They can play Hungry Hippos together as well. It's a great game.
There you go, yeah.
Other board games are available. Just want to let everyone know that. But yeah,
Kev, you missed it. You missed it. But talking of games, it's been ages since we've had a good game of Bogle. So yeah. we'll have to get around the table and have a good game of Bogle. This week's sponsor. Christmas is coming. What do you think of Ramazani, Kev? Well taken goal.
Yeah, it's good. He is. He's pretty good. I really like him. He operates in that like half space of a winger and like a number 10, doesn't he? He's like, I mean, that commentary that we had to be the other night was the way he was talking about Ramazani, and I thought that too. The way he was like just in between them both, and it reminded me of that's how Farker played at Norwich, and that's where Buendia played on the right side. He's like in between. So I think these players probably suit Farker's system a lot more than what the other players that we had last year. So. Yeah, I think he's going to be a good addition. Looks really good. And he's got a bit of fire in him as well, and he can see that he's going to get a few yellow cards. And
yeah, that's
what Nonto was last year.
We've all seen what he, I think he got a red card at his last club, and he was on the verge of getting banned or something because he was calling the ref a fucking prick or something. So, just the attitude we need. But yeah. But yeah, I think it was a good point away and a well taken goal. But I like what you said, James, where we're not this team where we just huff and puff and nothing happens. We do tend to get goals back. Now that's what Ipswich did it last year. They got 12. They went up with 12 draws because they kept finding ways to equalise and get points on the board no matter what, and that's what we need to do. Tonight if we get a point, we'll talk about it soon. But if we get a point, I think 2 points this week's not that bad, and then we've got Sheffield United to come up. And then we've got all the winnable, like mid to bottom teams to come up. But yeah, so we drew at Norwich, which is not a bad result in my opinion. But let's move on to the next segment, which is Guess the Player. If you've not played Guess the Player before, it is what it is. You will see a player with a box on his head, and I'll give you some clues, and you've got to try and guess. So that is Guess the Player. So is everyone ready? I want to see guesses in the comments, please, and please keep it to at least funny ones. No historical dictators, please, this week. So let's try and make history on the pod. So this is this week's Guess the Player. If my computer works, yep, there we go. So he's been active since 2000. I'll give you a clue, he's an English player. And he's like every other good footballer towards the end of his career, he's been in rehab now and then. So there is your Guess the Player. So I'll go around. Let's see. Paul, who do you think Guess this player is?
Steve Bruce.
Steve Bruce is a great shout, Or is it Steve Bruce and a cabbage? Who knows? James, who do you think it is, buddy?
Rehab. Pete Doherty.
Ooh, Pete Doherty. With or without teeth?
Out of his mouth, but in a jar next to him.
That's fair. Kev, this is your first Guess the Player since you've come back. Who do you think it is, buddy?
I feel somebody that had a lot of nous in the game, somebody that a lot of people respected and looked up to. So I'm going to go with Joseph Stalin.
Of course you are. Of course you are, Comrade Kevin. Well, yeah. So that's some good, some good guesses there. We've got Jordan Anderson. We've got Merson. I'm assuming the Paul. Zane again with Big Sam. But I can reveal to you, he believes in a thing called love. It is actually Justin Hawkins, who went under the pseudonym Puyol back in the day. If you don't believe me, well, I found a picture of him playing for Crystal Palace with a young Kaka. Well, at least it's his younger brother, just Kak. So there you go. There you go. So yeah, that is this week's Guess the Player. Thanks for everyone for playing. So let's move on now. In these past 2 games, we have had 2 massive injuries. Gruev and Ampadu have had. I think Gruev is the medial, the MCL, and we've had and basically they're both ending CL. So should we be worried, Paul? We've seen like Tanaka come in. But he's going away to Japan. He's been called up 18 or 19,000 miles away. I mean, as soon as we saw that tweet come out from Leeds United, every Leeds fan were like, if we get one more injury, we're done in.
It's a weird one because you can't legislate for having 2 people who basically occupy the same position off at the same time. You've got Ampadu that's got his medial ligament, which is your outside one, and then you've got with Gruev, it's his meniscus that needs repairing. So Ampadu looks like it's going to be 10 weeks, and then with Gruev, we're going to be lucky to see him again this season, I think, just because of because we don't know how bad it is. Basically, we know he's having an operation, so it could be either just a repair. If it's a repair, it's 3 to 6 months. If it's a rebuild, it's 7 months to a year. So that's where we are. I think that'll have to be addressed now in the transfer market in January. We do have 2 decent backups in Tanaka and Rothwell. It doesn't help that Tanaka's going to Japan and having to do an 18,000-mile round trip. That's not going to be. I think he gets back literally the day before, so it's the last training session before the game against Sheffield United we have when we come back. It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, excuse me, I've drunk fizzy pop and it's making me burp.
That's fine.
Excuse me, I'm drunk.
Do you know what we should all do?
Drop me off here.
We should all do the Sprite challenge. All of us together, just see who can.
Right now.
Not right now. We'll just plan it for a day. Okay, I've really taken this one down a tangent. So yeah,
you know where you are. You know where you are.
Okay, Tanaka and Rothwell are more than capable. They started to look better as the game wore on against Norwich in terms of their positioning and play, and I think they'll only get stronger. Rothwell's the engine that we need box to box, and Tanaka will just spray passes about all day long. I think his pass conversion rate in that game was like nearly 90%, wasn't it, against Norwich? So
he's fucking good, isn't he? He's fucking good.
He's ridiculous. And he is built like a brick shithouse as well. He's just muscle. It's just like grease him up like a kipper, but just lovely. Yeah.
Are you going around greasing kippers?
Oh yeah, on a daily basis.
The first stage is admitting it, Paul.
It is, yeah.
James, what's your take, mate? Should we dip into the loan market? Because it's an easy link because Farke managed Kramer at Mönchengladbach. He is a free agent. He's an ex-World Cup winner. Not in my book. But do you think we should dip into loan market until January? Because they have to address this. Because when Ampadu comes back come January, he won't be up to speed. He'll be only just taking the.
Do you mean the free transfer thing you on about?
Yes, because you can sign players outside of the transfer. Yeah, because he's a free agent as well.
Possibly, mate. I mean, it's just really shit, isn't it? You don't expect to lose your starting midfielders 2 games in the trot, but then, as Paul said, you've got 2 backups there who everyone's been screaming for Tanaka to play and start. No, he is. and he's got to show what he can do. Rothwell as well has been brought in to do a job and to play a certain role for us. Now he's having to do that. So I think we've got enough to come in and cover. But like you say, if one of these go down, we're royally screwed. So I don't know, mate. I mean, getting someone in now will probably benefit, even if they're just sitting on the bench until the window comes. I don't know. It's down to Farke, ain't it? You ain't gonna say what he's gonna want to do. But I think it all depends on this Gruev, what really comes out in this, and how long he's definitely going to be out for. We'll then see what sort of decisions are going to be made. So,
well, Smarty here saying Asted said up. Who's Asted? Said up to 9 months, so that could be.
That's Asted minus a B.
Yeah, Mr. B Asted. Yeah. We've obviously, if we are looking into the loan market, but then we've got Charlie Crew there to cover. Do you think Charlie Crew is capable to cover if Rothwell or Tanaka get injured? But then, even then, it's bare bones.
I've watched him play in the youth setup, but I've never seen him play men's football. I didn't watch him for Wales. I've never seen what he can do. I can't really answer that question without watching him play too much. For how long these guys are out for, and I guarantee Ampadu is going to be out longer than 10 weeks. I mean, we said that Strout was going to be out for a short amount of time, and then he was out for ages. I think we do need to dip into some free transfers that are out there, because there is still some decent players. I swear, there's players like Maitland-Niles, last time I checked, was available on a free. Some good players out there that still haven't got clubs. We need bodies in that centre midfield now, I think, because losing our first choice central midfield, and now we've got two players that are not even proper deep line ball winning midfielders or anything like that. They're both like to get on the ball and play. I do think there's going to be holes in that midfield going forward. So I think, we need 1-2 players in as soon as we can, really. I don't want to put a lot onto Charlie Crew because we've not seen him play. If he was that good and he was like Archie Gray levels, he's been playing already. So
Wales, he's been called up for Wales, hasn't he? So
he's
got
got minutes
for Wales, mate. Ampadu was getting called up for Wales when he was 15. You know what I mean?
No, he's good.
Game. Yeah. Well, now he is. He weren't then, though, was he?
We do have Schmidt as backup as well, because Schmidt is like he's been put in as the new Stuart Dallas, hasn't he? Because he can literally play anywhere. So we do have that option. But I agree. It's going to be interesting to see what happens up until January, definitely.
And the one that Zane's just put there, that Edouard Michou, the one who used to play for Sunderland at Paris Saint-Germain, he's a good player. There's loads of frees out there. Loads. Honestly, there's got to be something that we can do. That Kramer's all right. I think he played in the World Cup final once, possibly. It's all decent. There's players out there. Farke just doesn't like doing it. But
the issue that we've got, sorry, mate, the issue that we've got is, and it's what Farke said, and I agree with it to an extent, is anybody that's not signed up now, so free agents, it's going to take them a couple of weeks just to get up to speed. So I
just to get fit as well.
Yeah, they'll all be keeping fit, but they're not fit in terms of playing football matches. So it's an awkward one, isn't it? So.
Well, the amount of time that them two are out for, they're going to have time to catch up, aren't they? That's what I feel, I don't know too much about Charlie Crew to give a definitive answer, and I don't want to oversell the lad or undersell him. I don't think I can give an answer on that, because I just don't know enough about him, to be honest. That's just my answer on that. It's very political.
Well, right, quickly, are you confident in the Tanaka-Rothwell link-up then, Kev?
I think they're both good. Could be good going forward, but I do think there'll be times where we'll be exposed with them too, because they're not naturally defensive players. So there is going to be a lot of. I reckon we might get caught out a few times in centre back, more than we used to anyway. And we might concede a few more goals than we would have with Ampadu and Gruev there. Yeah, we just have to score more. That's what we're going to have to do, I think.
Yeah. So hopefully Leeds do the right thing, in my opinion, and go out and get at least one free agent, or maybe on a 6-month contract, because there are players out there that do want to play, even if it is for 6 months. Look at Byram. He had a 1-year extension put into his contract, and he opted for it. He triggered it this summer. Let's go into comments here. Danny looks like a look of a boxer. Well, Jason, I'll have you know, I have 100% win record. 1 fight, 1 win. That is an actual fact.
What was the name?
What was the name? I was just about to say the same thing.
I was going to say with yourself doesn't count.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a different type of wrestling. Right. James, did I just hear your email inbox ping?
Yes.
Yes, we
you
did. So let's get into this week's Letters to James.
Letters to James.
Who on earth has emailed you this week, James?
It is it's Brendan Aronson.
Huh?
It's not a letter. Well, it is a sort of letter, but he's decided to show us a bit of poetry. So let me get into it. Right. You ready? Hi James, Danny and Kev. Firstly, I want to say congratulations on creating the best podcast on this earth. Despite how some USMNT fans are on Twitter, Americans love Naup more than guns and God. I love representing the best team in the world, Leeds United. I wrote a poem for the LUFC universe. It's called Please Forgive Me for Being Initially Leaving on Loan and then not playing well enough to get bought for a profit, and also my wind issues. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the poem. I'm just to go to Aldi to see if I can get some Bunsen burners. Keep putting out these award-winning shows. All my love, BA, baby, a.k.a. Medford Messi, a.k.a. the human kite. So here's the poem. Relegation, stuck in the marshes. Inflation, McKenny's belly and arse is. Willie in the front, cock in behind. Penis ball in flow, there's no happy ending. Allardyce sunk Leeds, the story is never ending. But no horses are drowned in sand unless Patrick neighs and his knees are a beach. When the light breeze blows, remaining upright is a level I'm unable to reach. String bean, lesbian, I hear from the crowd. LUFC fans are very, very loud. Unless they are not happy with a tactical decision, starting lineup, or me being blown all over the stadium. The price is right when it comes to fixing Tyler. He pushed to pop his cherry. Along with Savage Louis, Rasmus passing is smelly. Injecting whey protein in my eyes with weighted boots as Gravity likes to play games. Positive thinking. Who can I believe in? Of course, it's Letters with James. Promotion will be ours, and all other teams we will annoy. So sorry, forgive me, from your non-win resistant American boy. And that's it.
Wow. I tell you what, Brendan.
They go click the fingers. Fucking hell.
That touched my heart. Touched me right.
Honestly,
touch something.
I'm going to clip that up and present it to the BAFTAs, and I think we'll get best new podcast. I genuinely do believe we'll win it.
Yeah.
And
well, obviously.
We can call, yeah. Well done, yeah. So that was this week's brilliant Letters to James.
Letters to James.
Kev, do you like Brendan a lot more after that?
Yes, he's shown that. I know he's really strong, hard exterior. That he's got a really soft side to him, hasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. I think he really got in touch with his emotions there. Right, let's talk about the game at hand tonight. First of all, here is the lineup. I've got it here somewhere. There it is. So, big call where Mateo Joseph has dropped to the bench. Other than that, I think it's business as usual. Now, we were speaking off air, Paul. Do you think that's a big call?
No. Brave, especially with it going out to, because we're playing against Sunderland, sorry, I should say. But I think Joseph needs to come out of the I had Seth Johnson on my brain for a second. I'm not sure why.
$35,000.
Poetry does to you.
I know. I think he needs taken out of the firing line a little bit because it can get a little bit intense. I think he's played perfectly fine, but that little bit extra level of physicality, whether or not Pirot can do that, who knows? But I'm not pissed off at it. Should be all right. Brave decision, but we'll see how it pans out in the game.
What about you, James? I know you're always confident when it comes to Leeds, but that one change does sort of mess with the dynamic, as Joseph likes to stretch the defenders and knacker them. I mean, Pirro will probably get it into his feet and pass it out wide to know.
Joseph probably needs a rest, mate. He works his bollocks off. He's played 2 games on the trot. So maybe having the idea of, if we need something to bring on to put a bit of energy into the game, because you ain't getting that from Pro when he comes on. You ain't getting energy. You're getting the ball kicked out of play a lot when Pro comes on. So having that swap, maybe giving him a bit of a confidence, saying, right, you're starting, fucking score a goal or something. And then if the game does get stretched and we need to inject some energy, then you can bring Joseph on that way. But yeah, probably just resting him, because he does work his ass off. I know he's getting a bit of stick because he's not producing, but I still think he is. I think he's involved in a lot of our attacking play, whether it's even just occupying defenders and letting other players get around him. I think he's doing a lot better than what people are giving him credit for. So yeah, probably just a rest that he needs, mate.
Yeah, what about you, Kev? On top of that, Smarty says here, we'll know in the first 5 minutes if it's a good move or not. Depends on how Sunderland line up. Low block equals Pirro. Recycle.
I was literally going to say, because Sunderland are top of the league, I think they might come at us more than a lot of other teams have. And I think that might suit Pirro's game a little bit more. Maybe that's in Farker's thinking, but also agree that he needs a rest. Joseph definitely needs a rest, because he puts himself about that pitch, even when he's not getting the ball. He runs around a lot, and I mean, these games have come thick and fast this week, haven't they? So we do need a bit of rotation sometimes, but yeah, all depends on how everything. I'm just going to agree with Smarty here. Depends how Sunderland line up, and yeah, if they come at us, then I reckon Pro will score.
Yeah. I hope so, mate. If we get that first goal, it's all about the first goal tonight. If we get that goal, and then we'll play our game, they've got to come out. If we get a goal, I don't think Sunderland are going to be right, let's get a goal and sit back. I think they might absorb a bit of pressure, but then still play out and try and get behind us. We did have some predictions. But Paul, coming to you, mate. Mm-hmm. Nervous and score prediction, please.
I'm a little bit nervous. I'm going to go with a really, 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 really tense, fraught 1-0 to us.
Ooh, okay. Oh, local celebrities coming here. How dare he? James, same question, buddy. Prediction, and are you nervous?
No, not nervous. I'm nervous about Pirro a little bit, but not really nervous on the rest of us. I think Sunderland are going to have a bit of surprise coming against us if we step it up, because I don't think they've played anybody that's really given them a test, especially at home. I mean, I know they played Burnley, but we've seen how Burnley were against us. They sat back a lot and really tried to hit us on the counter. But I think we'll dominate them. I do. I think we'll dominate them. I think we'll win 2-0.
Good. Happy with that. Kev, what do you think? Predictions, and are you nervous shooting it?
I'm quite nervous about this one. It's a young team, nothing to be scared of. New manager, they've got a good philosophy of football. I think this will be just as good as the Norwich game the other night. I think it'll be attacking, free flowing. But yeah, I think we'll beat 2-1, and I'll predict the road to score as well. I'm going to go with that. Yeah.
Nice. I think I want to say 2-1, but my heart's saying 2-1, but my head's saying probably a draw, maybe 1-1, 2-2. But I don't think a draw would be that bad against top of the league. They've lost once, but right, yeah. So let's move on to the last segment. I don't know what to think anymore. So it is Top Knob. So let's get into Top Knob.
Top Knob.
Good point. Yeah, it is Leeds, so you should be nervous. Right. So right quickly then. We are moments away from kickoff. So, Paul, who has pissed you off this week?
The ref in the Norwich game.
Ooh. Yeah, and I don't need
to say anything else. Just the ref in the Norwich game. The inconsistency was absolutely ridiculous, and he needs to lay off the steroids as well.
He gives me American Psycho vibes, where he just watches himself in the mirror. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
James, who's pissed you off this week? And who can I ask? Who is going to piss you off next week?
Oh yeah, well, we all know who's going to piss me off next week, especially with our injuries. We'll probably get a few more. I was going to say the ref as well. Then I was going to say Leeds midfield knees, but I'm just going to go with Ampadu purely because I've seen him do it in a few games where he's been made captain and there's this eagerness to show that he's really fucking intense and gets in these tackles. And I think he's probably caused his own injury there by just trying to show us that, oh, my fucking Leeds captain, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to go for Ampadu just for being a dick and getting injured.
I can see what you're saying because he did it against Burnley, didn't he? And he came off the worst.
He's done it a
What about you,
couple of
Kev?
times.
I'm going to go for me for getting caught in traffic. That's what I'm going to go for, yeah.
Nah, that's not your fault. You can blame traffic.
Yeah.
He seen the traffic and went, I'm going there.
I caused traffic, yeah. I threw a banana skin out the window and some of the cars hit it and one of them got a light and flew past me, so yeah.
Were they throwing green turtle shells at you?
Yes,
or
they were.
Red turtle shells.
How do you know about that? Yeah, so I'm gonna say me. Top
Say what me.
You're going to say him,
me.
Luigi.
It's me. It's me, Danny, the Yorkshire Italian. Top note for me is Danny for no reason whatsoever. Zane, I'm going to block you, be careful. I'm going to go with everyone. I think Coventry for injuring Ampadu, Norwich for injuring Gruev, the internationals because they're shit, the traffic for Kev, and that I probably said the referee already. All of them are going on the top knob board because I can't be arsed with them, and we better beat Sunderland tonight. So you are all on that top knob.
Top knob.
That is the end of this week's episode. Thank you everyone for watching. If you are watching after the live, please do leave a comment, ask us some questions, and you'll get silly answers, probably, because it's rather me or James and Kev that give you silly answers. Paul, anything coming out on your channel, buddy, over the next couple of days?
Just usual stuff. I'll do a review of the game tomorrow. I'll have just if I find something of interest that I want to talk about, I'll put it on.
Meniscus is a good topic.
Yeah, meniscus. Yeah. I'm going to do a deep dive into the knee. So
who named it meniscus was a good one. That'd be it's got to be some Roman dude, I reckon, with that.
More likely, yeah.
Probably. Or download Surgeon Simulator and try and repair it yourself.
I heard it was Keith Meniscus was the one that named it. Yeah, he just so he goes, oh fuck me.
It's right here. Keith, what's wrong? Oh, I've avert me Keith knee. Anyway, let's go. Right, thanks very much. Please do like and subscribe. Keith knee. Oh, do you mean yeah? I'll call it a meniscus because that's my last name. Yeah. So, Kev, Sunday Club. Are we on for Sunday Club? We
are on for Sunday. We're going to try something new this week, and I'll tell you when I found out what it is and when I thought of it. Yeah.
You're going to bring a Keith knee with us.
Yeah.
A Keith knee and a meniscus. Yeah, so please, everyone, do go over to Paul's channel at the Leeds Therapy, I believe it is, Paul, yeah? On YouTube and Twitter as well.
Even his camera nodded.
Yeah, I've noticed his camera won't let him out of his sight. It's like George Orwell's just...
If I did that, you'd see some wrong stuff on the wall.
Like,
so,
like that. His wife behind the gut like that. Don't you dare leave us. Yeah, so please do go over there and subscribe. And please do like this video. It helps us grow a lot more. We are going for 1,000 subscribers this season. We are currently nearing 900. So every like and subscribe does help us massively. I know Smarty's in watching. I didn't know that Smarty did the 92-mile walk last year. Right, quickly, I'll show you. I bumped into him on a walk. And we took this picture of me and Smarty. Look, you can see. There he is.
He did it in 3 steps. He did that 90-mile walk in 3 steps.
And he's Batman as well, by the way. Yeah, it's Batman as well.
Right, let's get out of here. Please do like and subscribe, and we will see you on Sunday for Sunday Club and next week.